Welcome to Beyond the Coverage. I'm Chris Horner. What do I want to talk about in today's edition? You guys probably already watched the butterfly effect, so how many times do you get Beyond the Coverage right after the butterfly effect? Well, we got to go back into yesterday's Tour de France Femmes, where we're looking at stage 8. It was a stage that finished up Alpe d'Huez. I got to add my 2 cents in there, if not a few cents in there, because it was a magnificent stage, filled with knuckleheadism all over the place, and it was the race stage winner, Demi Valerin, that I'm going to call out as the biggest knucklehead, and her SD Works teammates and director sportifs. They broke the #1 rule on the butterfly effect. What's that #1 rule? Well, if you guys are Chesterfieldian, you know the #1 rule is you always stay with your race leader, and your race leader always stays with you. It's the only thing you can control in the bike race is what you yourself will do, and hopefully control what your teammates will do. When you have a team rider like Demi Valerin, the best in the world, she is the closest thing to Tadej Pogacar in the women's professional peloton on a stage like this that finishes up Alpe d'Huez that you can possibly have. Well, she attacks at 55, 53 kilometers to go, and this is where the knuckleheadism starts. If I back the film way up, she had a ton of teammates in the break. That's kind of where it really started. Now she's attacking at under 55 kilometers to go. At that moment, when she goes to the top of the penultimate summit and she's dropped the race leader's yellow jersey there, Adoma, everyone sitting on the Chesterfields probably thinking this looks beautiful. All I'm thinking as she's going over the top of the climb, and I'm sure at least half of you Chesterfieldians, is that she's broken the #1 rule on the butterfly effect and she's isolated. Nobody likes to be isolated at all, and certainly in a bike race, it's kind of the most difficult situation you can be in unless your legs are guaranteed to go strong from the moment you take off all the way to the finish of the stage. The problem is at over 50 kilometers to go, that's a tall order, and remember, the women's professional peloton do not always race this long, and they certainly don't race up Alpe d'Huez. So this is a new experience for all the women over there at the professional peloton doing the Tour de France Femmes. When we get to the top of that penultimate climb, though, Demi Valerin's got some company. She has 2 riders with her, Kavala, that was already up the road, and then she has Royackers up there. Royackers is ahead on general classification by 2 seconds. The problem is, both the companions that are riding with Demi Valerin, they don't go downhill well. So Demi Valerin is doing the whole descent off the penultimate climb, and these descents, 15, 20 kilometers long, that's a lot of time to spin in the wind. Back there, you start seeing the race leader's yellow jersey, Adoma, back there. Well, she's got company, and all of them are helping out that can on the descent. When we start looking at Lidl-Trek, they have not 1, but 2 riders, and Lucinda Brand is selling out 100% for Guy Raylini. Guy Raylini wants a shot at winning the climb here up Alpe d'Huez, but in order to win Alpe d'Huez, you have to bring back Demi Valerin. So Lidl-Trek's pulling 100% back there, and Yvette Musek back there from FDJ, her whole team rode tons on this stage, so you know she's going to ride back there with the race leader's yellow jersey, because everyone in that group with Adoma back there know that she has no chance of bringing back the front rider there, Demi Valerin and Royackers, if they want a shot at winning the stage. So everyone back there's working down the descent, working through the valley, while Demi Valerin's pulling 100% on the front. We see them hit Alpe d'Huez in the first position with just over a minute. We'll call it a minute, 10-second gap. But again, the whole time Demi Valerin had wasted energy going up the penultimate climb, down the penultimate climb through the valley, while Adoma back there had help taking pulls, which allows her to eat, add calories, and rest more. We started up Alpe d'Huez with the group back there with Adoma. She still has help back there pulling when we start looking at Yvette Musek there taking pulls with Adoma. Up front, Demi Valerin has no help from Royackers. This was an intelligent ride from Royackers. She followed her up the penultimate climb. Can't go down the descent to save her life, but she gets back on the Demi Valerin's wheel through the valley, so she's able to rest there. And as they start Alpe d'Huez, well, she's done less work than Demi Valerin, and wisely so. She's sitting second on the wheel for most of the climb up Alpe d'Huez. Demi Valerin eventually, with 200 meters to go through the last left turn there, she drops Royackers through that turn and wins the stage here on Alpe d'Huez. She celebrates crossing the line, and then she points to her head, and I can only assume sitting on the Chesterfield that this is something this was intelligent riding today. I don't think it was that. I think it was a bunch of knuckleheadism from everyone on SD Works. As we see behind, coming out of that last left turn with 200 meters to go, Adoma's going full gas. Yvette Musek will come through on the left and get 3rd place time bonuses, but guess what? Adoma will hold on to the race leader's lead here at the Tour de France by 4 seconds. That means she's wrapped up the 24 edition here of the Tour de France for one of the biggest wins, well, not one of, the absolute biggest win there for Canyon SRAM and Adoma herself. Now, Demi Valer, what happened? Well, today's race here, began all the way back on stage 5 when you crashed and your teammates left you alone, and they won stage 5 without going back there and saving you some seconds. I said that on Fridays Beyond the Coverage, and I'm saying it today on Mondays Beyond the Coverage, that you guys messed up on stage 5 and then you messed up here on stage 8. And if I take you back to last year's Vuelta a España in 2023, you guys messed that up too because you were isolated after the nature break and riding 30 to 40 kilometers solo on that stage to just lose the Vuelta a España on the last mountain stage to Annemiek van Vleuten. That means you've lost the Vuelta a España and the Tour de France in back-to-back seasons, and all of it's been because of knucklehead tactics. In today's stage 8, if you would have stayed with your team, controlled everything, and then drilled it up Alpe d'Huez, you only had to make up 1 minute and 15 seconds. At that point in time, if you can't solo up Alpe d'Huez, you certainly are not going to solo for 55 kilometers to go when back there the race leader's yellow jersey has other help from other teams pulling full gas. And certainly Lucinda Brand, you were amazing on this stage to do damage control up there to Demi Valerin and give your teammate Guy Raylini a chance to win. And of course, helped out race leader's jersey Nui Adoma to win the 24 Tour de France. When I break it all down, guys, SD Works have made mistake after mistake, and most of the races I watched, SD Works is making major mistakes throughout the race, but their power and strength usually hide their mistakes that they make during the race. But here in the Tour de France 2024 for the women's race, it wasn't enough power and enough strength because she went from too far out with 50 plus kilometers to go and just cannot overcome the big mistakes of isolating yourself and riding solo on the front, while Nui Adoma had help back there left and right, pulling all the way into Alpe d'Huez and up to Alpe d'Huez. Congratulations, Nui Adoma, for winning a fantastic 24 Tour de France, and that stage 8 was marvelous. Demi Valerin, 2 big-time races lost, but the Vuelta a España and the 24 Tour de France, you guys got to clean up your work because Demi Valerin is the Tadej Pogacar of the women's field. Like and subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next edition real soon.